your whole destiny. It can change your mindset. It can change your biological structure in a dream. I dreamed one night before we added an addition to our house. So it must have been in the 80s or early 90s. I was very, very sick. And I was dealing with this lady and praying for her that had a spider bite, and she dealt with witchcraft. And I didn't know any better then. I let these family or these friends bring her to our house in the prayer room for me to pray for her. And I came under attack praying for her in my house. And literally I'd gotten so sick, I went to the doctor. They couldn't diagnose what was wrong with me. They said, we don't know what happened. He said, the doctor came in and said, you have strep throat. I said, my throat isn't sore. He tore up the prescription in front of me, walked back out scratching his head because he really was confused. This is true. True. He walked back in, he really didn't know what was going on. And I went home that night and went off to sleep, and I was listening to Benny Hinn as I went off to sleep, and I started praying, God, you specialize in miracles, signs and wonders. And I don't know all these people that are on Benny Hinn's stage that's in his meeting, but you know me. And if you can give them a miracle, I want you to give me a miracle. And I dreamed I was whole. I dreamed I was healthy. And I woke up feeling 100% whole. When I went to sleep feeling so sick, I felt like I'd been poisoned. I literally felt like that witchcraft spirit that was on that lady when I prayed for her, as if the spider bit me and I'd been poisoned by a tarantula. I felt like it was running through my bloodstream. That's why the doctor was picking up on the natural things and didn't understand it was a spiritual attack. But in a dream, I dreamed I was healed. I dreamed I was whole, and I woke up healed. Dreams are important and continue to be relevant in the times that we live in. Pay attention to your dreams. Keep a dream journal next to your bed, because your dream can predict your destiny. Your dream can warn you of things to come. Your dream can reveal secrets that you would never have access to if you wouldn't allow yourself to dream. Dreams are ancient biblical forms of divine communication that are needful prayer tools. And careful application in the present day makes the difference. When is the last time you've dreamed? Touch your neighbor and say, when is the last time you've dreamed? That's why the enemy tries to put so much crap in your mind before you go off to sleep, so that you won't dream. That's why he tries to stress you out and aggravate you and frustrate you. You have to set the atmosphere for dreaming. Set the atmosphere for daydreaming. When you're surrounded by negative people and people filled with doubt, they'll kill your daydream. That's when you have to stop them in the middle of their tracks and say, look, take the limits off of God. If you can see it, God can bring it to pass. If God trusted the marriage of Mary and Joseph, the earthly parents of Jesus, and the protection of baby Jesus to something like a dream, let's look at Matthew. First chapter, 18 through the 25th verse. If God would trust the birth of Jesus in a dream, if God would trust a dream to instruct Joseph so Joseph would not put Mary away, then if the Savior's life was predicated upon a dream, how much of your life you've missed out on because you refused to pay attention to your dreams? Touch your neighbor and say, God is asking you to dream again. Now, why again? You've had dreams before, but you didn't pay attention to them. So you need to dream again. Where did you dream you would be? Dream again. I don't mean the nightmare that you dream you would never have anybody. But go to sleep and dream Mr. Right. I dreamed at 7 years of age, Suzette. I was 7, and I dreamed I was getting married. I dreamed I was walking down the aisle with a wedding dress on, veil. I dreamed I was getting married my sophomore year in college. I dreamed I was marrying somebody in the military. All of that dream came to pass at 19. Wow. Look how long the dream. What are you doing from the time that you dream until the fulfillment of the dream? Touch your neighbor and say, I suggest you do warfare. Fight with the words. The rhema, the prophetic, that's the vision, word of knowledge, night vision, dream, day vision, daydream. What you saw, keep fighting opposition. Keep fighting the devil. And crucify your flesh with what God said. I believe that as if it was the gospel, as if it was a Bible. And every day of my life I was marching toward that, and at 19 years of age, I did what I dreamed. You can do the same thing too if you keep dreaming and you keep fighting these demons with your dreams. I dreamed of having 4 children. I had 4 children. I dreamed that all 4 of them would have ascension gift callings. All 4 of them have those callings. I dreamed that they would flow into gifts as children, and they flowed in the gifts as children. I dreamed it. At 5 years of age, Gerard talked to Brother Peter, who was a prophet. He's deceased now, on the telephone in Sarasota. We were in Panama City, Florida. He told him that he was sitting on a desk in an office, told him exactly what he was doing, and Brother Peter said, my God, that's exactly what I'm doing. The day that happened, that was a fulfillment of my dreams. I dreamed he would do that. I dreamed I had a baby brother that passed at 2. His name was Calvin. I remember dreaming at 6 or 7 or 8 years of age how he would walk. I woke up the next morning, walked in the kitchen to tell Grandma Sweet how I dreamed he would walk. And what I dreamed, he started walking in the dining room, came in the door walking just the way I dreamed. If God would give a dream to a 7-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 16-year-old, Joseph, he was a teenager. He had a dream. And the dream took him to Egypt. And the dream took him to the palace. Where will your dream take you? Joseph had a dream. Now the birth of Jesus, we're there. Now the birth of Jesus was on this wise. Matthew's, the 1st chapter, 18th verse. When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child. Is that the one I'm looking for with Joseph dream? Matthew, 1st chapter, 18th through the 25th verse. 1st chapter, 8th. Go on down. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man, and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privily. Keep going. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him. This is the part you want to mark. The angel appeared unto him in a dream. The angel appeared unto Joseph in a dream. The angel showed up in a dream. If Joseph had not dreamed, would Jesus be here today? If Joseph had not dreamed, would Joseph have stuck by Mary? Would he have gotten divine instructions that if the life of our Savior was predicated upon a dream, how much of your life is based upon dreaming and obeying the dream? All Joseph had to do was walk the floor worrying that night. How did Mary get pregnant? How am I going to explain this? She's 13 years of age. Then an engagement was a contract. It's just as if you married. You had to get a bill of divorcement to get out of an engagement. I found out from Judge Grimes even today, if you take an engagement ring and don't marry the person, it's a contract. You have to give that ring back because it's a breach of contract. For the gold diggers, I'm sorry. I know I preach getting something for your trouble, but I discovered you can't break the law. If you don't fulfill the contract, you have to give the ring back. But while he thought on these things, look at the thought. We were doing warfare against thought life on last night in intercessory warfare prayer at 6:30. We were nailing the demonic thoughts in the dream that Destiny had. Demons were showing up saying, I come to church. I'm not trying to keep people out of church if I can just come and plant thoughts. Joseph had thoughts. But while he, look at the screen, while he thought what? On these things, behold, the angel appeared. Now let's go back up to 19. What things was he thinking about? Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privately, put her away privately. So what was he thinking on? How I can put Mary away and not shame her. But while he was thinking, 20th verse, But while he was thinking on these things, my grandmother used to sing this song, while thinking and praying, let him have his way. Oh, Jesus
will fix it for you.
Oh, for you.
Oh, for you.
Yes,
he knows just what to do. Oh, while thinking and praying, let him have his way, and Jesus will fix it for you. Oh, for you, for he knows just what to do.
One more time.
While thinking and praying, let him have his way, and Jesus will fix it for you.
He knows just what to do. So while you're thinking, conquer that thought life. While you're praying, let him have his way. While Joseph was thinking about how to put her away, God shows up in a dream. Behold, the angel of the Lord, not only dreaming, but the angel is in his dream. 3 times the angel showed up in his dream. First time, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not. That was fear that was gripping him to take Mary. How many fears have we had that have hindered our dreams? Fear not. What if this fails? What if it doesn't work? There are a lot of people cohabitating today for fear of marriage. What if it doesn't work? Well, if you're shacking and that doesn't work, they'll still leave. What if I lose the job? Well, get the job. What if I can't hold the house? At least you would have known what it was to have one. My fear of trying out as a cheerleader in high school robbed me of the opportunity of knowing whether I would ever been selected as a cheerleader. So when my daughter turned 15 and wanted to try out for a cheerleader at Florida A&M University, I was determined to drive her there. Several times fear had her throwing up on 231, throwing up on 20. I had to keep pulling over beside the road for her to throw up. The fear of an audition in front of a full gymnasium with over 120 girls. But she overcame her fears and was the second person chosen as a part of the cheerleading squad for Florida A&M University. But if she had not overcome the fear, she would have never seen the fulfillment of the dream. At 5 years of age, we went to a football game in that stadium, Florida A&M University, and she went down and watched the cheerleaders, and I kept watching her, solidly watching them, and finally I said, what are you doing? She said, Mom, one day I'm going to be on that cheerleading squad. But our fears can block our dreams if we don't face our fears, ride through our fears, conquer our fears, meet them head on, and say, I'll do it if I do it throwing up. I'll do it if I do it staggering. I'll do it if I pass out, if I hyperventilate. Because I'll never know victory if I don't face my fears. Faith is the weapon to use against fear. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So my faith says, it's scaring me to death, my knees are shaking, my stomach is in an uproar, but I'm going all the way. If I allow myself to rehearse all the past failures, I'll never see victories. We have to learn to reframe. I heard my husband preach about it takes 16 positives to correct one negative, or to replace one negative, 16 positives to erase one negative. So I had to put that into play. I was flying to Denver, Colorado, and there was the rudest man I ever met in my life on a hotel shuttle. Driving us to the airport, I thought somebody must have paid him to be rude. Nobody's just rude on purpose. I got out of the vehicle and I thought maybe I need to tip him. In the middle of a tip, I walked off with him still talking. I saw his mouth moving and the volume went down to 0. And I walked away saying, Lord, I can't let him ruin this trip because I've been planning to go to Denver. Ever since my husband mentioned that when he was stationed in Colorado and the different places he went, that's how many years. And I said to myself, I can't let him ruin my dream. And the thought came to me, 16 positives replace 1 negative. So I started counting. From the time I walked in the airport, the first friendly place, as I went through security, a lady smiled. I said, that's 1. I went through and another guy helping me with my things when I came out of security. I said, that's 2. By the time I reached